Welcome to Issues and Society podcast, where we talk about any and everything happening in the society. Today, we are going to be treating a topic that has been on for a very long time. The topic is domestic violence of underage children, especially as house helps. And today, we have beautiful, elegant, thick. Please, I want to talk to our thick ladies. See, thick women are winning. Okay, we have Mrs. Oluwabumi Agri. I pronounced that right. Okay. Yes. Then we also have Mrs. Nifemi Ajileye. Did I get that? Yeah, she's the director of JKS Home and Academy for children with special needs. You're welcome to the show, Juan. You're welcome to the show. It's nice having you. So today we're talking about domestic violence of underage house helps. Yeah. This topic, it comes and goes, and people don't tackle the topic because it only comes up when there's a victim, when an abuser coming up on the social media space. When you hear that one woman in so states has poured hot water on her house help that is 5 years, 7 years, it just causes there's chaos on social media for that. Give it 2-3 days and it dies down, and nobody's talking about it. No solution, nothing. So we want to talk about it. I feel like it's something that should be talked about, should be dwelt upon, so that and maybe giving possible solutions on how to go about it. So first off, let's talk about using children first as house helps. Children for child labor. What do you have to say about this?
Well, for me, it's how will I say it? It's a total bad influence on children. It's a total use of how will I say it? A domestic abuse on children. You cannot allow a child that is younger than younger than 18, yes, 24 above, use them as our domestic helps in the house. For me, it's terrible. It's a wicked heart. Okay. I'll use wicked. Okay. Because when a child is growing up and he needs a mother's, he needs a mother nurture, a father's care, siblings and all that. And
you steal the childhood.
Yes, and you steal the child from those parents and say, go somewhere that you don't even know, you don't find out about them, you don't know their family lineage, you don't know what the woman is capable of doing. And you could just really just give out a child like that to go and do domestic work. For me, it's a wicked heart. Let me just put it that way.
Susan, family, let's hear from you. What do you think?
All right. For me, in some cases, most of the parents that have these children, due to poverty, they can't afford to take care of those children. And then those people come okay, I'm willing to foster your child. Most of them come like foster parents. I'm going to take care of your child. I'll provide education and everything your child needs. And then those parents trust them with their child. But at the end of the day, they maltreat these children. And you can easily tell that this child is not part of the family from the way the child is dressed. Sometimes they are seeing marks on the child's body, the malnourished and all that. Some of them are even sick. They don't take care of them and all sorts. So
they don't even go to school.
They don't
even go to school. Or they take them to a school that they don't care. When these families come out, there was a video that went viral one time where a woman took her children. She was in a restaurant with children, but you could tell that this is not her child. The way,
I think she was carrying a baby while others were eating.
Yes, and the girl just sat. She even sits with them on that table. They secluded her, and someone had to go over and why are you doing this?
This is your child, yes.
And I'm like, you've just made things worse for that child, because when they go home that night, the child will hear, oh God.
Some people don't take them and some lock them inside. There was a video too that went viral that a child was actually peeping through the window and was begging for food. What even happened very close to us here in my area, the child was actually begging people that, please, I need to go out, I'm hungry. It was a bike man that saw her and alerted the estate security that this child is being maltreated in her house. And when I found out her age, she's just 8 years old. And she was locked in the old building, a 3-bedroom flat.
I think some laws should be put in place as regards child labor. Do you know of any laws in place as regards child labor?
Yeah, several laws, but to implement the laws
Is the problem.
And people need to report to. We need
Yes.
to, you know, when we notice something like that in our vicinities or surroundings, let's find out, let's investigate, you know, let's have that mindset of I need to make a change. It doesn't have to be the authorities or the people we report to or the
local
the
police,
national woman or a
yes.
child whatever. We don't have to really do that. Let the work start from us. Do you get? Because noticing that day, everybody came together as a neighbor, as a community, and we took that child straight to the police station. And when the people came back around 9:30 in the night, they started looking every day. This they did not even bother.
They didn't bother.
They did not bother. It was a neighbor that now said, did you know what has happened in this community today because of you people? And you came home by this time and not bothered about the 8-year-old child that you left.
Wow, that's wicked.
So it begins with us. We need to start we need to start the awareness, you know, lecturing people more about it. Let's talk about it, even our churches, in schools.
So talking about reporting to the police or taking this thing up, do you know of any case that has been followed through to the end? What's the end point? When you report this child now, what happened at the end? Was the child taken back to the family? If it was a reason, if the parents bringing them to these people was as a result of poverty, what are the measures that were put in place to make, if not, because I feel like the parents will just change another foster parent and to still be a cycle, a repeating cycle. So what is the end point of reporting these issues to maybe local police or NGOs or what? Are there things put in place for these children to receive proper education and all that? Because I feel like this thing is even going to have psychological effects on these children. So we need to know, like, do you know of any NGO or government agency that take this up? What is the end point?
I know NAPTIP, National Human Rights Commission, Women Affairs. In fact, the new Minister of Women Affairs, she doesn't joke with children. So I'm sure that once they see that there's anything of such going on, they withdraw the child. Even in homes, for those that have homes, they go for inspections. If they see that these children are not well treated, they withdraw all the children from the home and they take them to where they'll be well taken care of. So I'm sure that once they know and they find out that this is happening, the child will be taken to where he or she will be
about reporting to the right authorities. Yes, and all those authorities need to know them. For me, I feel there should be an awareness, like, you know, where we could, you know, post them, if anything like this.
Yes, people don't know about these agencies. People don't know.
Because even when
that's why
during that time,
that's why even the abusers think they can get away with it. Because they don't know that there are agencies put in place for this.
Because aside from government agencies, there are some local NGOs too. There are so many of them that actually deal with cases like that.
Then I think even this being your brother's keeper, this I don't care attitude that is ravaging our society now, it's going to be the end of us. So seriously, because you see your neighbor doing something.
You can't tend to mind their business.
They might tend to mind their business.
I witnessed something one time where something similar to this was happening. A child was being maltreated by the family that she was staying with, and another small child that is playmate with this child went in to tell them, mom miss you, they're beating so person. You know, they're beating her, they're using stick on her. And mom was like, it's not your business, close your eye. I shouted from my room. Exactly. Why would you say it's not? This child seeing this thing, you're telling the child it's not. This child, you know that there's a possibility that your child grows up to think there is nothing wrong with that.
And that's how
and
the parents.
Yes.
The parent
children learn more from what they see. Yeah. So you're telling your child that it's not your business. You didn't train your child to be wicked, but your child seeing that and you not doing anything would automatically think that it is okay to treat people like that. Exactly. Now that child grows up, becomes an adult, brings a child, and does replicates that wickedness.
So the child will become a bully. And
starts from there. Yes,
and the parents will not start.
And the parents will start wondering how I used to do this. I'm a good woman.
The parent needs to start teaching those kids as little as they are. What to do, what to expect, you know, when you see things, how to report them. You know, my child, I have an 8-year-old, she's the last born of the house. And, you know, my househelp, whenever I'm not in the house, she likes watching Z Watch. So she will now tell my eldest son, 13-year-old, to go and use the washing machine and wash clothes. But because of the way I've trained them, when I go home, right inside the car, like before I ever get out from the car, mommy, Auntie, this is told this is to go and wash, but she now cross her leg and pressing phone and washing the what. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Aside from, the way my sister was like, don't teach this guy to do. I said, it's not baby room.
No,
it's
it's
not,
not.
leave it at all. Leave the mentality of her doing gossip, being gossip and all that. It is the way of
She reported because she knows it's not
it's
supposed
wrong.
to be so.
So
Yes.
she reported because she knows it's wrong. And she knows that when mommy comes, mommy will not even take it lightly with her. We're going to deal with her.
Yes.
So automatically when I'm not in the house, oh God, since that day, she knows that my kids will report, they will give me the lowdown of what happened in the house. Since that day, she has been, mindful of what she's doing. She's my sister. She's not my house. She's my sister. She's my blood sister, like from another mother, from another father. Yeah. But the way she reacts today, like, oh, I'm a big woman and nobody can talk to me. But my kids told me, they will come and tell me everything. I'll be like, did you see what happened today? She will be so shocked. Word for word. Like exactly the way she did it. So that alone helped me to be able to nurture her, tell her what is right and wrong, and tell her they're also a woman. You need to grow up. You need to do this, you need to do that. So I told her everything, and thank God, she listened to me because she felt like, oh, even if she do something wrong, the kids are there to report.
I don't think
so. We as parents have a whole lot of work to do when it comes to our children. Yeah. We need to let them understand the fact that everything needs to be reported. Leave the fact that somebody say, don't tell your mommy. No, that is even when you will not come and tell your mommy and say, this person said I should not tell you this thing. Do you get? Yeah. So it begins at home. It begins and I know when they are growing and they are going to university, when we're not even there with them, when they see things are around their vicinity, they will be able to, even if they cannot even tell anybody, their parents will be the first people like, Mommy, see this thing. What can you do about it? Yeah. And with that, we can start the awareness, And there are a lot of ways we can do awareness. We can print those things on the t-shirts, everybody's seeing it around, on the social media, Let's go to schools, have it on their billboards, If anything happens, report it. So people, we can do a whole lot with it.
Okay. So
a lot of awareness, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask this question. We are women here. From a woman's point of view, do you think a woman should even bring in what age do you think is appropriate that you can? First off, the idea of house help, personally, I think it should be left for adults. But most of these people now bring their sisters' children or somebody from the village and they promise them education and all this. So if you know that this child is going to be helping at home, what's the appropriate age that you think someone should go for when going for these children to come and help? In turn, I would send you to school and all that. Is there an appropriate age?
Well, if you're talking about house help, the appropriate age is from 18.
Okay.
The child is an adult.
Okay.
If you're talking about fostering, for those that promise, provide the education and all that, I think probably from age 13, the child is a teenager. And then to some extent, the child should be able to differentiate between right and wrong. And the child is mature to some extent. You can't keep an 8-year-old child in your house and then you're sending the child to sweep, to mop. I have a 9-year-old and there's a limit to what she can do.
Okay.
But when these children are kept in homes, in quotes, house helps, they tell them to do anything that their children cannot even do. So, and that's maltreatment. So I don't think children who are still children, should be taken in at all.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you think most times this domestic abuse comes from the women? What do you think should be the husband's response?
It comes from both parties.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that of the men.
Not only the women.
I'm coming to that of the men.
Sexual.
We're going to talk about the men. No, we're going to talk about. I have that. We're going to talk about that. So when it comes to the abuse of beating, physical abuse,
yes.
What do you think should be the role of the husband? Because many husbands just go. You see something like you report to a man, okay, this thing what your wife they do. If you come out, your wife they maltreat this child. I beg now, woman, now know herself, now the woman get house. So what do you think the men should do? What do you think their response should be when they find out or when someone tells them that their wife is being wicked to these children they keep at home? What do you think their response should be?
The man of the house is the head of the family. And if anything goes wrong in the family, you should be held responsible. Okay. So if your wife is acting a kind of way to the household, it's the husband's responsibility to ensure it doesn't happen. Because for me, there were times I had I can't even shout at them. My husband will tell me, no, if you know you're not comfortable with her, let her go.
Okay.
So it's the right of the husband to make sure you correct, because if anything happens, if the wife is reported, everybody will be taken in that house. Both the husband, because he's an accomplice. If you see something wrong and you don't say it, or you don't correct, or you don't talk about it, you're an accomplice. It means you will also do the same thing. So I think the husband should be responsible to correct the wife whenever she does things like that.
Okay, let's talk about the sexual part of this. So when lots of cases of where the husband is abusing the female helps at home, and the wife sweeps it under the carpet.
I don't know.
Because of our culture, a lot of
women. That's what I want. Me, I'm going to back out now. I'm not married. That is what I want the both of you to talk about. Culture in what aspect? What should the woman do? What is she supposed to do?
It's not right to actually, sweep it under the carpet. But according to your husband, you're not supposed to speak up. But government say the law doesn't listen to all those, because it's happening under your care. In fact, the child is given to the woman. So if your husband maltreats the child or abuses the child sexually, you should speak. I don't know, you might report, but you should not keep quiet. You can report to family members, they take it up and all that, whatever they want. But you knowing about it and then keeping quiet, you're not raising an alarm, you're not telling anybody, you're not telling his relatives or anybody. And it will keep happening. And it might even happen to your own child. Yes.
Yeah, I think I'll go with what she said, because, men, they tend to have this ego whenever they did something wrong and you really want to pin it down on them. That, see, this is it. As a lady, we have our ways with our men. We know what we can do when we need to report them. We know how and where. So when it comes to sexual abuse, we should not limit it to just keeping it to ourselves. We have pastors, we have people that we can actually talk to, because as a lady, some people will be like, I don't want people to start talking about me or pointing fingers at me, what people will say. What people will say has done a lot to people's mentality in our society. Okay. I'm telling you what people will say. What will people will say? What if it happens to your child? What will happen? So I think starting from there, we also actually as a woman need to stand our ground, because it can happen to our child. Yes. So look at your child as the first picture of what if happens to my child. How will I act? What will I do? How will I go about it? So when it comes to our husband, then it should be reported. It should be reported.
If a man sexually abuses the house help, be a child or an adult, you think it's grounds for divorce?
Yeah. In my own case. In my own case, whatever that took you to go and sexually harass a teenager, my children are not safe. And probably might be one part of my husband I don't even know. That God now revealed it to me. My dear, I'm gonna leave. Or he has to go out or go to rehab. Go and work on yourself, and let's think about it.
Yeah, rehab work in Nigeria. With the trust.
You see a psychologist, and all that. Everybody deserves a second chance in life, but there's some things that people do in life that will be like, does this thing actually deserve a second chance? Like, seriously?
Seriously, because...
Seriously.
I'm calm.
Do you get it? And our culture won't make we women to be able to be more outspoken and decide. Because that's when we say, family will say,
why would you wash your dirty linen in public? Cover your own.
Father of your children, we bought you house, bought you this, and how will you be able to do? The way how to go about it, the mentality. They will play it in your head like, can you survive? I say, what happens to people that have single mothers that are surviving? They are surviving. Really, so what do you want us to do?
Very nice.
It's a long process.
I've had people ask this question, and me say, if you go by how my head is hot now as a single lady, it's the women that used to say, I'm going to my father, you will go to your father's house.
It depends on the woman's heart. We were as a woman, we're very forgiving.
Of the woman.
Yeah,
most of women cannot leave because they don't even have the capacity.
And some don't even have anywhere to go to. They don't even have family to go and meet. Who I won't come carry my bag go meet now? Do you know that kind of mentality? Like, okay.
So this will take us back to telling women to always have their own money or do something.
Do something for yourself.
Something
your own.
Reach
your husband.
Don't even accept a man that will tell you not to do anything.
You don't just sit and then the man provides everything for you. What if What if the man dies tomorrow?
What
If he loses his business? What
if he goes bankrupt?
Anything
Or something
can happen. So, and then there's you buy your peace with having your own money.
Your own money
Because you ask for something and then it tells you, I'll give you next week. When you have your money, you can easily do it.
You can easily do it and be like, okay, I do this, I did it, and you even him as a man be like, wow, there's a way they feel so proud about,
And then you
when they say their wife
stress as well, because there's some
as a lady,
responsibilities that
we need to have something
the
doing.
woman can take without the man there.
We need to have something doing.
But you have an academy for children with special needs. So I believe you are more you should be more enlightened about stuff that surround children and the rights, child rights and the rest. Do you think is there an agency that goes around? When we watch foreign movies, child services. Do we have that in Nigeria?
We have child protection
services. Are they very efficient?
Yes, they are. They are in every state in Nigeria. Wow. Child protection network.
See, she's saying wow. Me, I wanted to shout wow like twice because I didn't.
I'm not even aware. I'm like,
according to the movies, the foreign movies we watch, these child services go any small backcamp.
Yes.
Even if it's your biological child, once they hear that you're not taking care of that child, they take that child away from you.
They're coming for you.
Child protection network in Nigeria, and they're in all states in Nigeria.
Are they active?
Do they have a line?
Do they have a line? Do they have who is in charge? Do you know?
No, it's just for you to know those that are in charge in each state.
Okay.
FCT or your state. Every state has child.
So how do we find them?
If you browse, we can.
If you browse, you can. And then with Ministry of Women Affairs, under Women Affairs department, we have child welfare too. Yeah. So Ministry of Women Affairs, they take anything that concerns children very seriously. In fact, everything that concerns children is under Ministry of Women Affairs. Wow. So if you don't have anybody at all to report to, Ministry of Women Affairs.
Because if I was president for one day, you see those families that don't have the ability to train children and go to give birth to a football team. You will half the children, take half. And leave
the rest of the government.
Because they are the ones that are selling this. I call it selling. I would equate it to child trafficking because you are selling this. You cannot, you give birth to one child, give birth to two. Inside one room, you make them 11. Before you know, this one will go and stay with this one.
Parenting is a lot. Aside from you having the money to take care of them, being a parent to your child and then ensuring that your child is not a nuisance to the society.
Takes a lot of work.
So the fewer children you have, the better for you.
The better for you, and they'll be able to navigate it and say, okay, this is what I can handle, this is what I can do, and you receive good results from them.
Train them properly.
Exactly.
Okay, so this question is actually very controversial. People tend to think that abusers of domestic helps, majority of the abusers of domestic help in Nigeria tend to stem from a particular region.
You want to go there now?
We will go there.
We will
go there, yes.
Okay, let's hear.
I don't have the actual statistics, but lots of times when we see these stories pop up, it's mostly from the southeastern region. What do you have to say about that?
It happens everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It happens everywhere. If I should go down to places like all this Ibadan, even in FCT, it happens everywhere. Most families have these children around. It happens everywhere. I won't agree to the fact that it's more dominant. I don't know, but it happens everywhere.
Oh, okay.
It happens everywhere. I'm going to go with that, with what she said too, because probably maybe where they get to find them more, like when they get to complain.
The awareness.
We could say, okay, based on that. But sincerely, my sister, it happens everywhere. The one that happens very close to my house was not. She's even south. She's from the south.
Okay.
And these people they have 4 cars in the compound.
That's the thing that beats me. Like, you have this money. Why would you want to torture somebody else?
And the child goes to school. She's right inside the compound. You should see her clothes, not cleaned. And this is the same child that will wash your plates. Like, I don't know how they do it.
Are you not even scared that this child? What if this person gets angry and poison your children?
Well to do. She's not looking.
Out poisoning.
Yes, or planning to kidnap the child. Because are you not even scared? Somebody that you keep your children on, like in their care, and you're still treating them anyhow.
Totally, I can't stand it. I have a house help. She's 25 years old, and she had issues where in Kaduna where they had a fight in their village, so they had to all run away. And I met her in church. And I don't know her family, and I was like, she came to meet me. She saw me with my children. She was like, "Ma, I just love the way you behave with the children. And I don't behave like I have 3 kids. Like I behave like I said I'm their age. That she wants to come and work for me." I say, "Hey, I have a sister that is okay for me." I said, "I have a sister. Me, I don't do house help. My husband is an evidence of a child abuse while he was growing up. My husband does not want to hear child house help. He was abused with house helps. His mother works in Shell." And you can imagine working in Shell, you go very early in the morning, you come out at night. So they are always at the mercy of house help from different. So he had his fair share of house help. So when you hear house help, he does not even want to eat. He does not want to. "I will help you." Say, "I will help you. I will wash the clothes. Don't worry, just carry baby."
Wow.
That is how he does. "I will help you. I've been there. I don't want to be there. I don't want my children to be." I said, "See, my husband will not accept. I have somebody that is with me. She's my sister. Although she's going to school soon, I can't do anything for you." But I saw the persistent, and you have to be spiritual too.
Exactly.
I prayed about it. I told God, I said, "See, I really want to help this girl, but my husband won't accept. So whatever, let the will of God be done." And while I was praying, I just had this conviction in my mind that I met her in church. I know her auntie, I know the pastor. Let me just give it a try. I said, "Okay, you're going to start with coming in the morning and going in the evening."
Okay.
And I started with that. Along the line, I found out that she didn't go to school. She didn't do this. Right now, Abigail she can install wig. She can make hair. She can make hair and mother everybody. I don't even know them from anywhere. The way the woman will be calling me, I'm like, she'll be praying for me on the phone that I don't know where your children were going to, but for you to be able to trust this girl. I said, I started with a big step. I felt like I could convince my husband that no, it's not all house helps that you can actually maltreat or do anything, do harm to your children.
Okay.
So I just wanted to show him so that he can also have a lesser mentality about it. Because if my husband goes to your house, he will advise you not to collect house help. It's that bad.
The trauma.
Is that bad?
The effects of
Is that bad?
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
It creates a long-lasting, devastating, emotional, psychological effect on children.
Exactly.
And as old as he is at that age, married to a grown man still telling you that no, he doesn't want it. He goes everywhere and talk about it. Don't collect house help, and he still had that effect on him to that age.
Okay, Mrs. Ifemi, can you educate us more on the possible effects of this child abuse on children?
Okay, there are several effects, and sadly, most of the effects, if not well controlled, goes on in the child's life.
Yeah,
for
it has a
long
ripple
time.
effect. Yes.
A child that is locked up in the house without food or anything, the child tends to steal.
Yes.
The child is taught, because whenever she sees food or anything, let me just take it because
Yes,
they won't give me. Some children that are sexually abused, they grow up to get used to men sleeping with them. You see a lot of young children, they can't do without sleeping with men, and not just one, not two, not three. Most of these households, they are, they like it because they are used to it. Then it affects them psychologically, emotionally.
Yes.
It influences their personality as well.
Yes.
Because for some of them that they are used to, somebody shouting at them, screaming at them, it affects their self-esteem. And then
they will never trust you. They have
they
trust
become
issues.
so timid. They don't want to talk.
Yes.
Social
They feel like they are not
effects,
enough. They can't fit in.
They can't fit
And
in.
then it also makes them to develop a kind of negative behavior.
Behavioral
Stealing,
problems, yes.
Lying,
Behavioral problems.
Taking drugs and all
Yes.
those things. So psychological effects that affect their relationship with people as they grow. So they find it difficult to trust. They find they no longer trust themselves because nobody tells them that they are good. All they hear is you are this, you are that. Abuse is not just eating the child. Verbal abuse as well.
Verbal abuse.
You are useless. You can't amount to anything. And all that. So
Constantly reminding the
child
child
that what she's not.
So it affects them psychologically. So it takes a lot for some of them as they grow, they just talk to themselves because unfortunately some of them don't even get to find somebody to counsel them, to talk to them. So some of them just talk to themselves that okay, I don't want to live this kind of life anymore. Because sometimes you might even be counseled and no change. You know, except you talk to yourself. So that is what happens. Most people you see these days that are successful and that are adults, they all went through issues when they were young. They went through psychological issues. Most of them stayed with foster parents, where others are eating.
Even some don't even stay with foster parents, with their own parents. Like when I was growing up, we stayed in this compound, family compound. And my parents were educated, so like the way they nurture us, hey, you cannot even go out, step out without telling somebody that you're going out. Like, because it's a big compound from one brother of children, my brother children, my elder brother children, my younger. So my mommy doesn't allow us to even step out wearing our underwears. You can't do that. You can't.
And then we also need to train.
So the training, the constant reminder.
You know, the children that stay in the house with the househelps, because I don't see any reason why your househelp is talking to your child and then your child tells the other, shut up.
Yes.
And the mother is there looking
and not.
I tell my househelp,
do that.
Yes, deal with them.
Yes, the child should know that you
see the
don't talk
househelp as they are not part of us.
If my children does anything,
the parents shouldn't cause that segregation.
beat him and let me know, please.
Because we are teaching the children not to be empathetic.
Yes.
And they grow to be wicked.
Exactly.
Because they see those things and they see it as a normal thing.
You don't
These people
support
are not part of
such.
the family,
Yeah, you
so
shouldn't
we don't need to
support
treat them
such.
with love.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, whatever we do is for the sake of our children, our lives, our future.
Yeah.
So we need to train these children to love regardless. Even if the child
And learn to
househelp,
forgive too.
you know,
Yes.
is from whatever, you have to learn to respect.
It's true.
Because this househelp is older than you.
Yeah.
This househelp takes care of you. So she owes you all the respect. So I think parents need to do that. So even if the househelp is 20-something, you know, they should learn to respect those people because it will help us in the society.
Wow,
and we need to let the househelp know that this could be your children too.
Yes,
You get treat them nicely.
So some
This
househelps
could be your children.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
Your
their
children.
madams, some househelps are maltreating their madams.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, that sounds very funny. What happened?
Yes. There are some very calm, you know, you take good care of them, and then these people still maltreat your children, they are rude to you, they steal from you, they do all that.
As well.
So I think
There's a whole lot.
Thank
There's a whole
you
lot.
very much. I enjoyed this session. So, people, you've heard it. We can combat this domestic violence of househelps generally, underage or not. We can do that. First off, we should change this "it's not my business" mentality. It is your business. If you see your neighbor, your friend, your family doing this to the children under them or their househelps, call them, educate them. You're not supposed to do this. We are all human. So educate them and talk. If you talk to them and they refuse to listen to you, report them. Report them to the nearest police station. Report them to their pastors. Report them to somebody. Escalate the issues. Let us stop this mind your business thing. No. Nigeria, see, from time, we were born and brought up to know that we grow in a communal, this is like a communal way of living. So please, report these incidents, educate one another. If you visit your family member and you see that your family is doing that, and just scold the person. Go to schools, tell them that you don't need to treat children like this. And on this note, if you know that growing up you were a house help or you lived with a foster family and you have your story to share or anything, do go to our DM us on our Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Share your story. We want to hear your story. If you want us to keep you anonymous, please indicate. We'll be waiting for your comments. Don't forget to follow us on our social media, on YouTube at Issues and Society Podcast, on Instagram at 71 Media Limited, on Facebook at 71 Media Limited, on TikTok at Issues and Society Podcast, and on Twitter at 71 Media Limited. Drop your comments, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching this episode. See you same time next week. Bye.